Welcome to Backcountry Life. It's Aaron, Sam, and Richard coming at you guys again to give a review on Powderbird's Heli ski out of Snowbird, Utah. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Today we're going to be giving you the ins and outs of Powderbird's heli skiing operation out of Utah. This was a really fun trip. We kind of got a story behind that. Aaron, tell us the story of why we ended up going with Powderbirds.
Yeah, we're from Utah, so for whatever reason, we've kind of always put Powderbirds off, not because they're not great, just because we always wanted to, we've skied Utah mountains, we want to get out. So we were actually headed to Telluride. On the way, they called us, which was super awesome of them, said, hey guys, this is rare for us to do, but the weather's looking really bad tomorrow. We're probably going to cancel the trip. We stopped, turned around, we pulled off the side of the road and said, what do you guys want to do? Richard got on the horn with Powderbirds in Snowbird, Utah. Big cottonwood canyon outside of Salt Lake City. Called them. They had 3 spots left. It was perfect. We booked it on the spot, and then we rode Powderbirds on Saturday, and it was kind of meant to be. It was a killer experience. They'd had snow the whole week, and we had a really awesome trip.
Yeah, in these videos, we like to give you some key factors to think about, like cost and the actual outfit and how much snow they have. And so Rich has some cool stats for us, so we'll kind of start through what it costs.
So the cost to go with Powderbirds for a single day is $1,260 to $1,500. You can fly out of where we did, which was in between Alta and Snowbird, or you can fly out of Park City. And they only do single day flights. They don't really do
multi-day
trips like some outfits do.
All right, what's the snowpack?
So they get awesome snow. So literally Alta is in the premier spot for snowpack in Utah, and we fly all around there in different spots around Alta. Alta, that area gets one of the best snowpacks in Utah, so it's a great location. So they get on average
in the west, man.
In the west. They get about 500 plus inches of snow annually. So the fly rate, which is very important to know, so the number of days or the percentage of days they actually fly and don't cancel because of inclement weather is about 60% for Powderbirds.
And they even said that this year, because of the crazy storms that Utah was getting, that they actually had a harder time this year because it was getting socked in, storms were blowing in, they're staying longer, getting more storms. So that varies from year to year.
Yeah, they almost had, I think they said they almost had a whole week of not flying or only being able to fly a couple of runs because of bad weather.
Yeah, in fact, the guys that we skied with told us that they had to hike out one day because the helicopter wouldn't come pick them up.
They couldn't get them. The good thing to know is, wouldn't you say, what we're finding is anything above a 60% fly rate is really good.
Yeah.
So between 50 and 60% fly rate is pretty common.
Yeah.
Anything above a 60 is really awesome. Check out our Revelstoke video. They have a 95% fly rate. That's in Canada. We have a review on that heli operation. That is insane.
Yeah.
Definitely. So the group size, the number of people in a helicopter is 4. So it's really important to know, so when you call up an outfit and you're thinking of going out with them, you need to ask how many people besides the guide and the pilot fit in the helicopter, because ideally you want to fill up the helicopter. So if they have, so Powderbirds, they have 4, so you want to get a group of 4. Now, it was only us 3 and we got stuck with a random dude, but he turned out to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that morning he was stretching and he pulled a muscle stretching.
We're like, oh,
so he actually struggled a little bit, but he didn't hold us up at all.
He was really nice. That's important to know, because if you did get stuck with a rando who wasn't at your level, it will really hold you up because you stick together as a group, especially in Powderbirds. Snowbird Alta mountains here in the Uintas are really steep, which is awesome. It's what you're looking for. The terrain varies from like mediocre to technical, but the technical riding can be pretty technical. And so if you get a rider who's, intermediate or less, they're going to hold you up and it's going to slow you down. One thing I think is important to mention with snowbirds is, although you're 4 to a helicopter, you actually ride in groups of 8. which was a con for me, and we'll get back to that. But what happens is you go up 4 in a helicopter, and then the helicopter goes and gets the next 4, and then you bunch together with 2 guides, one in front and the back, and that's for avalanche safety, which is awesome, and it's for your, for your own good. But you're in groups of 8, so it takes longer to get down these runs. So it's a little more waiting in between runs.
And the terrain gets tracked out a little bit more because you have to take turns going first. So when you're going at the end, I think we always found good powder, but you were typically crossing someone else's track.
The terrain is awesome, and there's enough of it, but definitely covered more tracks at this one than some of the others we've ridden.
Definitely. So lodging, tons of lodging in the area. You can, if you're flying out of Park City, obviously you have tons of options for staying in Park City. Park City is a awesome ski town, but can be spendy.
Great nightlife.
Nightlife. But the great thing is you can stay in Salt Lake City and still drive up to Park City for way cheaper.
From Salt Lake to Park City, how far of a drive is it?
From Salt Lake to Park City is like 20 minutes over the pass.
So there you go.
And then up the canyon from the Snowbird side, from Salt Lake, it's 10-15 minutes. Yeah. If there's crazy snow, there are 2 resorts in the canyon where this operation flies out of. Yeah. The canyon will get packed and backed up. So one thing to know about Snowbird is if you're going to the Snowbird Alta location and it's a snow day or there's really good snow that week or it's a weekend, try to get up the canyon super early. We're talking like an hour earlier than they're telling you because the canyon gets backed up with traffic pretty bad.
So our last point, which Powderbirds is amazing for getting to. So you have Salt Lake International Airport. They have great flights from all over the world. And it's literally 30 minutes without traffic from Salt Lake City Airport up to basically Powderbirds, which is crazy. So technically you could fly in that morning and drive up. Now obviously you wouldn't want to do that, but
yeah, but you could.
But access is just amazing.
Access. Another good thing too about riding in Utah is if you get grounded here, you have like 8 resorts within an hour or less of you. Most of them are within 30-40 minutes. So just on both sides of the mountain, from the Park City and the Salt Lake side, you have multiple world-renowned resorts with killer terrain, with tons of budgets. And if you get grounded, don't sweat this trip. You're going to have tons of riding to do.
So overall, guys, what was your experience of actually riding the outfit?
So for me, Powderbirds was up there with one of the trips we've done so far. The terrain is so beautiful. I love the Utah mountains. It's steep. The snow is incredible. It's super dry snow. The access was great. The guides were super cool. A con for me, like I said earlier, was there was a lot more waiting. You fly up and you wait. Whether you're the first group or the second, either way you're waiting. And that kind of took away a little bit of the experience because you're just salivating to ride that snow, you know what I mean? And you get up there and there's a little bit more waiting.
Yeah, the other thing too is the whole experience. They do a pretty good job with actually making the entire experience good. So when you show up, they bring you in, you eat a good breakfast. They have a chef right there that's cooking you food, and then go up. But like Aaron said, the terrain with what we skied terrain that they hadn't skied all year, so we lucked out with that because we've had a really terrible avalanche danger here in Utah this year. What made the experience amazing was that really steep terrain. And I think that this outfit made me feel like they were more geared around skiers. I mean, I'm sure they get a lot of snowboarders, but that kind of made me feel like, that was the environment. But that's fine, they didn't give us any hard time about it or anything like that. What about you, Rich?
And I think one of the coolest things for me personally, this is more of a personal level, it's like you could see the Salt Lake Valley on a bunch of the peaks that we were riding. So it was just the fact that we were just snowboarding all these peaks that I grew up looking at and looking at the lines. And like, oh, that'd be so sick. And now I'm up in a helicopter riding those lines, like watch. I look at it as I'm driving up and down I-15, So
it's like a dream come true. When you're little, you're like, how cool would that be if a helicopter could take us right there? And then it did.
But overall, I'm super happy we ended up at Powderbirds because I think it was a lot better than I expected, actually.
Yeah, it was a great trip.
Yeah, so overall, the experience, what would we rate it out of 5?
I'd give it a 4.5, probably.
4.5.
4.5.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching Backcountry Live. If you have any comments, questions about Powderbirds, hit us up in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like our video, and also hit the little alert button. And thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.